Hi everybody, it's Joni Young here. Welcome back to my channel for another painting tutorial in acrylics. Today I'm going to show you how to paint a colorful, foggy forest landscape. I'm going to paint some different trees than I did in my last two tutorials showing you how to paint fog in a forest. Today I'm going to be showing you how to paint more of like birch or aspen trees, and I'm going to be applying the branches and leaves with these two mop brushes here. I have a 1-inch one and then a mini mop brush. I also have a number 3 round brush for some smaller details, tree trunks and branches, a number 20 flat brush, and a number 30 filbert brush. I'm working on an 11 by 14 double primed and stretched canvas. I have the following colors here: titanium white, luminous pink, cadmium yellow light, hooker's green hue permanent, Mars black, crimson red, luminous violet, and phthalo turquoise. I'm just going to spray down my canvas with some water. This way the canvas will take the paint a lot better. I'll be able to add my brush strokes and my paint a lot more smoothly. Okay, so I'm going to start with a little bit of white and a little bit of blue, and I'm just going to add that along the top. Very, very light, faint shade of blue here. I'm going to add just a little bit down below as well. I'm going to add a little bit more of the blue up here just so that it matches the strength below. Okay, I'm going to rinse this brush out. I'm going to take some green and some black. And I'm going to start from down here and just add a line. And then I'm going to pull up and down. Now see how easily I get these brush strokes along the canvas? Adding a little bit of water to your canvas before the paint really helps. You can also spray the underside of the canvas. That will keep your canvas damp much longer, and it'll help your acrylic stay wet a lot longer. I'm going to just go right down below here and add just a little flick just for a little reflection. Then a light little sweep across. Okay, I'm going to go back into my black and my green, and I'm going to continue adding a little bit more here. I'm going to bring this up a little bit higher. And then I'm going to come across with the black and the green down here again, right at the water's edge. And just make use of the rest of the paint in my brush, just working that out. Okay, I'll rinse my brush out now. And I'm going to go over to my round brush, take a little bit of water, some black and some red. Mix the two up, get a little bit on the end of my brush to use, and we're going to start painting some tree trunks. And I'm going to start up here at the top. Take a little bit more water. Lightly pull with the pointy end of your brush. You shouldn't have to push very hard. Okay, I'll add another one here. Maybe this one's a little bit shorter. Now you can use a little liner brush for this if you want as well. I'm going to be covering up part of the branches, so I'm not really concerned about making them perfect. Just going to take a little bit more of my black and red. And then I'll add another one in here. And then I'll have one or two on this side. Maybe we'll have a bigger tree trunk coming right up here, leaning over a little bit. To make these tree trunks a little bit thicker. And then I'm just going to take a little bit more paint, a little bit of water, and really light pressure. Adding some more tree trunks in here. I'm going to dry this off in a moment. I just want to finish painting these tree branches and tree trunks. So if you use a little bit more water and less paint, you can make lighter colors. It just has some more faded looking trees back there. Okay, let's dry this off and then we'll start coming in with our mop brush and some treetops. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of green and black and red. I'm going to mix them up right here so we get a nice dark color here. And I'm just going to start tapping sparingly so we don't cover up the entire background. So again, I'll take green, black, and red. Feel free to use a little bit more red or a little bit more green if you want. And tap a little on that top branch up there. Okay, now we're going to dry this off and then come in with the next step. Okay, so for the next step, I'm going to be using my 30 filbert brush. It's a little bit damp still just from rinsing it out and drying it off, You shouldn't need too much water for this step, but you do want to make sure this is dry because we're going to be filtering over and adding some pastel colored fog. So for the fog, I'm going to start with some white, and I'm going to start with a little bit of yellow. Now I've got a lot of paint on my brush, so I'm just going to take my towel here and just wipe the excess off. And then I'm going to come in this section here and I'm going to start to crisscross to add it. You can see how pretty it looks over top of the blue. Take just a little bit more here. It's important to have the right consistency in your brush, the right amount to use. Otherwise, you'll end up with too solid of a layer or too thin. Okay, so I just wiped the excess off. Now I'm going to take a little bit of pink with the white, and I'm going to come in here with it. I think I'd be a little bit more generous with the pink. Add a little bit in there like that. Maybe just a teeny bit more. Now you can add it on the other side as well. Okay, then I want to take a little bit of the blue and the white, and I'm going to come over top this left-hand corner. And you can either go in little circles or just kind of crisscross like this to add it. Okay, for the next step, we're going to come in with another layer of trees, another row of trees. And I'm going to start with this violet on the end of my big filbert brush. There's a little bit of water in here just from washing it out. We'll see if that's enough. If it's not, then I'll add a little bit more water. And we're going to start down here and just pull up. We're going to make a really dreamy colored background. I need just a little bit of water. You want to bring it partially over some of that fog. Okay, then I'll take a little bit of pink and we're going to come in here in between and add it. And then some yellow. Now I'm not adding any white, I'm just using straight paint. I'm going to add a little bit of this down below, just what's left in my brush. Okay, I'll rinse my brush out and we'll start coming in with some tree trunks. Back over to my round brush. I'm going to get it a little bit wet and I'm going to take some black and red and I'll start coming in here and adding some more tree trunks. And we'll have two that are kind of crisscrossing here to make it interesting. You can add as many tree trunks as you want, or less than what I'm adding. Really make it your own. This would be neat also with palm trees too, wouldn't it? Let's just mix up some more paint here. And just go over these branches. Clean them up a little bit and make sure that they're not see-through. Okay, let's bring another one over here. I'm gonna have this one leaning. And then gently pull and twist out some branches. Going to dry this off, and then we're going to come in with the next layer of leaves on our trees. Okay, I'm just gonna, this one is all wet now, so I'm going to switch over to another mop brush. Now this one happens to be an angled one, but you can use any size, round, oval, angle. You can even use a fan brush, any stippler brush, and tap with it for this next step. So my brush is dry, there's no water on it. I'm just gonna go ahead and go into my green, black, and red. Gonna add a little bit more green in there. So the color that I'm making here is like a really dark brown shade. And I just want to show you how much paint I have on my brush. So there's no big globs, it's pretty evenly loaded on there. And that's to keep its shape nice and fluffy to get this nice effect of kind of see-through leaves. So I'm going to start here, tap a little. Now I like the colors that we have going on in the background, so I don't want to make anything too solid. I want my leaves and my branches to be a little see-through, and add this sparingly. Little pressure. If you have to push hard to get that paint on your canvas, you probably don't have necessarily enough paint in your brush. So, and then I'm going to add a little bit down here as well. Just bring down some bushes over the base. I'm going to just sweep and pull with my brush. I'm going to add a little bit of water in here, and see how much that helps loosen that paint up and just make it glide over the canvas. Okay, and then I'll sweep back this way. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of red now. Just straight red, clean brush, another mop brush. I'm just going to add little hints of this. It'll dry a little darker because I'm adding this on to a darker base. But look how mysterious and moody that looks. I'm going to add some down in here as well. And then a little sweep down below. Okay, let's go ahead and dry this off, and then we can come in with a little bit more fog in between here. So you can see it's dried a little bit darker. I might come back after and add just a little bit more light to the trees with some red, but I want to start coming in with some more fog. And I'm going to be using my flat brush a little. I'm just going to get it a little bit wet, and let's start with our yellow like we did last time. A little bit of yellow in here. Make sure the excess is wiped off. And so I'm just going to continue in here. And then I don't want to cover everything up. I just want to add a little mysterious fog kind of coming down in this area here. I think it just looks really pretty. A little bit like that. And then I'm going to take, let's take a little bit of blue. A little bit of blue, white, and just a tiny bit of yellow. And this time maybe I'll start coming in here. Okay, then I'm going to go into, well, that's dry. Let's pick up a little bit more beautiful luminous violet. Okay, so I just washed it out. Take some violet. I'll just mix it up here in this pink area. Too much white and you'll lose. Just be careful with the amount of white you add, because it might be a little bit too light if you add too much white. So I'm going to come in here. Already got some violet back there, so I just want to sort of intensify that. A little bit down in the water. And just a tiny bit of white in there. Now a little bit of pink, clean brush, a little bit of pink and white. Wipe the excess off. And let's see, we have a little bit, maybe a little bit stronger with my pink. And then just soften with a dry mop brush. That looks like a waterfall, which I totally didn't mean to happen, but that's kind of nice. I'm just going to add a little bit of pink in here. We've got some soft ripples in the water now. Ends up doing its own thing sometimes, and I just go with it. It's easier to do that than try to fight it. Now, I can't help myself. I really do love my waterfalls, and I keep seeing a waterfall back here, so I've just got to do it. I really like using an angle brush, especially when I need to sneak in little areas like this and carefully add it. So I'm just going to get my brush a little bit wet. And I'm going to take yellow and white, just tint it with a little bit of pink. I want to keep it gold looking. Put a little bit more water on my brush. Okay, and I'm going to start very little pressure. And just gently add a little tear here, a little tear. And then a few little lines like this, just using the pointy end of the brush. And then reverse in the water for a little bit of a reflection. I really like that waterfall there, but you can leave yours plain if you want. Now this is going to dry a lot darker. I can see it happening already, so I'm going to add just a little bit more white to my violet and just come in here. Soften, soften with my flat brush. Little circles. Bring a little bit more down here. I'll add just a little bit to the water, a little bit more here. I'm just going to have a light little sweep. Just a little bit like that. Little hint there. Let's go into our blue and white and add a light little sweep down in the water. A few little lines across. And then for the final touch, I'm going to just add a little bit more red to the branches. Just looking for the right mop brush. I've gone through so many mop brushes. I do actually have a mini mop brush that I was going to use, so I'll do that. This one's kind of a longer oval type of one anyway, so that'll work. I just need a little bit more red. So this is actually Naphtha Crimson. I apologize. Earlier when I went through the colors, I said crimson, but it's a Naphtha Crimson. So it makes a difference. There's different shades if you wanted to be specific and use the same. So what I want to do, I'm just going to stand back and have a look and see where I want to add a little bit more red right in here for sure. And I'm really, really loving the red and this soft powdery violet together. I think that looks really pretty. Now I just want to do this because I know that it's going to dry a little darker, and the red in this is really what's exciting. We've got the soft background, all that soft pastel colored fog, and then mysterious deep dark looking trees. I think they all work together nicely. Just got a little hint of red in here. Now I'm going to take a little bit of yellow, a little bit of white, mix that in with my red, and I'm just going to add a tiny bit of light and some little bushes back here. Just a little hint of something. That's really all we need. We don't need to add too much. Sometimes less is more. I really like how this turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and subscribe to my channel. It's free. There's over 1,100 tutorials here. I always want to mention I've got a Patreon site as well with exclusive content over there. I am now accepting photo submissions from my Patreon members. So if I choose your photo to paint from, I'll make a tutorial, and I'll also send you the original painting. So it's a really fun thing I started doing about 3-4 years ago. Took a break from it, and now I'm more excited than ever to do it. So if you want to head over there and check that out along with all the other benefits. Wishing you guys all the best. Thanks so much for your support here and everywhere. See you soon in another video. Bye!